Hello, Leo. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your May 2023 Tarotscope. In the description box below, there are all sorts of goodies for you to explore, including a timestamp if you would like to jump to the start of your reading. I would like to remind you before we jump in that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so please only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. It is my absolute pleasure and a blessing to be reading for you today and sharing with you a spread that I've created looking at what have you conquered, where are you gaining clarity, what do you have the opportunity to change, and what might you be celebrating now or in the future? So without further ado, let's jump in and see what's going on for you. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, what has Leo conquered, please? What has Leo conquered, please? Actually, I just heard yourself. So I feel like many of you have been working on conquering yourself, overcoming your trauma, your wounding, healing yourselves, growing in your spirituality, growing in your soul and your intuition, your evolution, your soul's evolution. Okay, where are you gaining clarity, Leo? Okay, thank you. What do you have the opportunity to change? What does Leo have the opportunity? Okay. And what might Leo be celebrating now or in the future? Okay, thank you. Let's get some clarity. What has Leo conquered, please? Tell us more about that. There it is. Okay. Where has Leo or where is Leo gaining clarity? Please tell us more about that. I feel like that one, but I also feel like there's more in here. So let's see. Where has or where is Leo gaining clarity? Please tell us more. Yep, okay, thank you. Tell us more, please. What does Leo, there it is, have the opportunity to change? And what might Leo be celebrating now in the future? Tell us more about that now or in the future. What might Leo, okay, thank you. Let's get some clarity, or excuse me. Okay, why did I say that? I feel like, Leo, it's interesting because I feel like you've gained a lot of clarity in the month of May. It's really interesting. I feel like there's been a lot of clarity gained around yourself. And what's very interesting about this is I don't feel like this is clarity in the sense of this is what I want, this is where I'm heading, this is what I feel I need to accomplish, things like that. It feels more to me like a clarity of your divine truth, right? A better understanding, if you will, of what it means to be a human being on this planet. That's what it feels like to me. And maybe not everyone will resonate with that, but I definitely feel that energy coming through. Okay, so can we please have some advice, guidance, or encouragement for Leo? Advice, guidance, or encouragement. Okay, quite a few cards here for you. Wow, yeah, quite a few cards indeed. Okay, let's jump in and see what you've got going on. So what have you conquered, Leo? We do have the dolphin here, right? And here's the thing. It's very interesting to me. I am going to pull the book out for you and dive into this a bit deeper. But right off the cuff, I want to say, like, dolphins are very spiritual animals. They are very connected spiritually. And I feel like this is, like I picked up on before we even jumped into the cards, I feel like you have been I don't know how to say it, gaining clarity on this, have been exposed to this on a new level, right? And I feel like you're conquering, how would you say it's conquering your, okay, this might sound a little weird, but I feel like you're like conquering your human, right? Because, and when I say that, I mean this from a very like physical world perspective. Um, Again, wounding, traumas, belief systems that you've picked up along the way, different falsehoods around many things in your experience. I feel like you're conquering the very human aspect of being on this planet. Take that how it resonates with you, but that is what I'm picking up. Let's get more from the guidebook here on the dolphin, just to bring a little bit more. If I can, where are you? I do apologize, you guys. These are not in like any alphabetical order. Okay. So it says here, now remember, this is what have you conquered, okay? Innate intelligence, healer, light, blessings. The gift of the dolphin are, or excuse me, the gifts beyond the dolphin are beyond what our human minds can grasp. Dolphin personalities are often drawn to the healing arts as they are sensitive to the subtle and enjoy working on the level of spirit. It's easy for dolphin types to underestimate the impact they make in the world. These creatures play such an important role in the wheel of karma that coming into contact with a dolphin type will change the entire course of your day and thus your life. This card can also indicate a profound blessing is on the way. When in balance, active healer, strong spiritual practice. When out of balance, underestimates own power to bring into balance like-minded spirits. So yeah, right? I feel like you've conquered again this more spiritual, or rather the more human side of yourself, right? Opening up to that more spiritual aspect, that more spiritual facet of your being. And I feel like there's this acknowledgement or accepting that I am a soul in a human body having a human experience, and I am connected to both worlds, both the unseen realms or other dimensions and this one, right? Some of you may have even acknowledged or come to realize or accepted that you are indeed a healer, or what we might call a light worker, right? Somebody who is here to help others, to be of service. And I don't want to, how do you say, I don't want to say this in the sense of like some are better than others or anything like this, but there's this element of we are all here to be of service in some aspect or another. But I feel like there's this knowingness of that being like a very profound part of why you're here, of your purpose, right? It is to be of great service to others and to share that depth with others, right? Also, the dolphin, right, when out of balance, underestimates its own power. And so again, I do feel like part of what you've conquered is what a truly powerful, spiritual, influential being you are. And maybe this isn't something that you, I don't know how to say this, but I feel like you may have sensed that before, but maybe didn't allow yourself to acknowledge it, right? But I feel like somewhere along the line, man, something kicked into gear and you are like, okay, this is a whole new world. Yeah. Pardon me. You may have released fears around, what if this is just a bunch of nonsense? What if I'm just making things up in my head? What if I don't know what the heck I'm talking about, right? I feel like there's a conquering of that to clarify, wow, this is freaking glorious. You have the Father of Wands, Leo, and this is beautiful because that Father of Wands is a representation of your energy in the tarot, one of them at least. Okay. And so I feel like this is really about you stepping into who you truly are on many different facets, and it's fucking beautiful. Like, I'm just saying that from an energetic space. Like, it is beautiful because it seems like this again, it's like no, that's not the right word, embodiment of this is who I am on all of these different facets. And I'm learning to accept that. I'm learning to acknowledge it. I'm learning to integrate it into my being. And it is freaking beautiful. Friggin' beautiful. I also feel, what have you conquered? You've overcome a lot of freaking obstacles, right? A lot of freaking obstacles. I feel like you've done a lot of healing. I feel like you've gained some insight on the bigger picture at hand. And I feel like this is something that is creating momentum and movement in your experience. And again, it is beautiful, right? And here's the thing. I want to say, I feel like some of you are needing this message because I feel like you may have been in this place where you're like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe I'm doing the things. I feel like maybe I'm growing. I feel like maybe I'm learning, but there's this other aspect of me that maybe doesn't feel that way. And I feel like this is could be confirmation for maybe some where it's like, listen, you're in this like narrow, I feel like it's narrow, in between space. And I feel like it's narrow because I feel like it's like you're like right on the cusp of stepping into a new experience, right on the cusp of a whole new level, right? So it's like it feels narrow because I feel like you're so freaking close, but you're not quite there yet. And so things feel really weird. Like I feel like you're trying to find your footing, kind of. Though I do feel like you're very confident in where you are to some extent. Okay, at the very least, energetically speaking, at the very least, spiritually speaking, right? I feel like you're like, yes. And I do feel like there's a level of passion here, in regards to what you've discovered as well. Glorious. So yeah, I feel like you've been conquering yourself. Certainly the energy says as much. I'm gonna set things here. Let's take a look at where have you or where are you gaining clarity, Leo? So we do have the raccoon here. And I feel like this isn't this for you as I feel like you're seeing through. Okay, this is gonna maybe sound weird, but I feel like you're seeing through the masks that other people have placed upon you, which is really, really fascinating because I feel like part of this comes from your wounding or your trauma, things like this. I feel like it's stories that other people have told you or that you've taken on through some experiences that maybe how there's some level of you I feel inside that never really bought the story fully, but you've still been living it. Okay, if that makes any sense. Like for example, right, maybe somebody's like, you're not important, what you say doesn't matter, or something like that. And but and so you've been carrying that with you, but I feel like there's some aspect of you that's like, it doesn't make sense though, right? Like I can feel that I have an influence on other people, or I can see that, or I've been shown that time and time again, or, people have said as much, or whatever the case may be. But I still feel like you've been holding on to or wearing that mask and pretending like you're not as influential or as important or valuable as you actually are. So I feel like this is where you're gaining clarity, and I feel like you're starting to see through the masks that other people in society, let's say, have placed upon you, or that have been, something that you've been wearing through your wounding and your trauma and these sorts of things. And it's interesting because I do feel like there could have been stories that other people told you and you just bought it, right? And then put the mask on. And I feel like you're starting to see through this, starting to gain clarity on this, and are taking those masks off. I feel like you've likely been doing this already. But I feel like you're probably gaining more clarity on many of these things because you're open to seeing them, right? Before, I feel like you were just wearing them and wondering, like, what the heck? I don't, maybe again, there's that energy of maybe I'm just making shit up, or maybe I don't know what the heck I'm talking about, right? I also feel like there's probably many of you who are, to some degree or another, creative, whether that be, like some sort of musician or songwriter or some sort of artist, some sort of creator. And I feel like you are likely like starting to step into that. Or maybe, how would you say, like narrow down perhaps what you enjoy about certain things, or what really sparks passion within you, or, pardon me, what sparks passion within you, or what lights you up. And I feel like for some of you, there's this element of gaining clarity on the things that really do bring you great happiness. And I feel like there's something about like pursuing that and no longer hiding behind what maybe society or your family or something says you should be doing. So for example, maybe you really are, love to create music, and your job is some office cubicle something or other, and it's never made you happy, but you've been doing it because it, makes you money and people accept it and whatever else. And now you're gaining clarity on, okay, maybe I should actually be pursuing something that I actually like. Right? If I'm going to be selling my time, I might as well sell it doing something I like. Take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. But let's see what the tarot has to clarify here. We do have the Two of Cups. And so what's interesting about twos is, first of all, there's this energy of like balance and choices. So, I feel like, again, which is interesting because I kind of had this feeling anyways of balance in your experience. And I just have to point out, I looked up and we were at 1717. 17 is about being on the right track, being on the right path. Okay. So take that how you want to, but I'm just saying, again, the two can be about choices and it can be about balance. And I did have this feeling of balance for you as we came into this reading. It felt like you're probably far more balanced than you give yourself credit for. And actually, there is a feeling here of, it's really weird. A lot of what's coming through in your reading is kind of weird, but I love it. I'm totally here for it. This energy of almost you being in balance, but you thinking you're not in balance, throwing you out of balance. I know that sounds like a dog. I don't know. It sounds really odd, but that's what it feels like. It's like you actually are far more in balance than what you give yourself credit for. But there's this almost like pondering or questioning or doubting energy of, am I really in balance? Because I don't feel like I'm in balance. And so it's kind of throwing you off a little bit. So maybe stop questioning yourself so much, because again, the Two of Cups is one of unity, right? It's also connection and partnership. And I feel like there's this unity within you that maybe you're not giving yourself credit for, right? I feel like there's this deep connection that you've created within yourself, between you and maybe your higher self, or you and your truth, your human self and your soul self, or your spirit, if you will, or your soul and source or creator, God, whatever you choose to refer to it as. And I do feel also that there are some of you who feel a very strong connection and have gained a lot of clarity on your connection with source, universe, creator, God, whatever and I feel like there's a reverence there. There's a beautiful reverence there for that connection. Super fascinating. I love this energy. It's beautiful. Yeah. I feel like there's a balancing of the duality of being a human and being a soul, right? And a beautiful partnership that I feel like you've gained clarity on, or or will, which is again why I feel like you've gained clarity on these masks, right? Also, you know, that connection with spirit will show you those things as well, right? Connection with your spiritual team, your angels, your guides, God will show that connection, or show those things to you, and will help you to work through them, you know? So I feel like, oh, it's so pretty. It's beautiful. I almost said pretty. It's pretty. It is pretty. The energy is really pretty. Oh, yes. Like I was saying, you have the magician here as well. I mean, literally, there's this energy of, you know, as above, so below, as within, so without, like this understanding, right, of your power, of who you really are, of being able to bring things into the world, right? You're just finding your footing and learning how to implement them, because we do have the one with the magician here, or which is interesting because it's like developing the I, that individuality, right? Capital I. And then the two here with the Two of Cups. So, you know, it's kind of fresh, if you will, fresh energy. The Two of Cups is, you know, newer in the cup suit and the minor arcana, and then the magician is obviously again the one out of 22 cards in the major arcana. So I feel like you're just kind of uncovering real secrets, like the real mystery of yourself, and are developing that capital I, or that individuality, understanding that you do have everything you need in order to create your reality, in order to manifest a beautiful experience, in order to create, right? And I love this so much, because again, it's that development of that relationship between self and source, or, you know, our human self and our soul self, if you want to look at them that way. Again, taking the masks off. And even if you look at this here, it's interesting because this magician is looking right, the way that it's placed on the table, right at that raccoon. Like, why are you wearing that? That's actually what I heard. Like, why are you wearing that? Like, what do you have this mask on for, right? Like, don't you even know who you are? Wow, we also have this is beautiful, the Four of Swords. And the reason why, so I'm not looking at this from, let's say, your typical Four of Swords perspective, perhaps, but in this card is this lamb, right? With this beautiful sun in the position of what we might call the third eye. And so again, there's this clarity, there's this understanding of the connection between self and the divine, and feeling that protection, and feeling that, how would you say, like I can rest, right? Like I can, oh yeah, it's another energy of like quiet preparation or contemplation. And again, there's that element of like, I know things. I don't have to fear these swords that are hovering above me, because I know something on a much deeper level, which is really fascinating. It's a certain level of awareness or perception, right? So again, I feel like you've gained clarity on many aspects of your reality and of yourself. And I feel like this is certainly helping you to experience life much differently, but yourself much differently as well. And I feel like it's allowing you to truly grow and truly evolve and truly sink into who you are and what you're supposed to be doing here. Holy shiitake mushrooms. You also have the High Priestess. So yeah, like I was saying, I feel like this could be the very early stages of this level that you're in currently, right? Like fresh and crispy, but this is your intuition. This is that inner growth, right? This is that divine wisdom or divine truth, that inner voice, right? Like I know things, like I'm understanding that things are much differently than what, you know, maybe I perceived before. Again, with another 2 here, right? So I feel like there's this balance in this understanding. It's beautiful. There's also, you know, choosing, well, okay, and understanding that there's a middle path, right? There's a fine line between a lot, how would you say, um, again, I feel like there's this, again, this middle path, this understanding that we can easily get pulled into the light and into the spiritual aspect of things, and we can be off in la la land and not really bringing things into the physical and yeah, like actualizing them. Or we can be really in our shadow and really in our ego and completely forget or ignore the more spiritual aspects. So it's about walking that middle path and having balance. But again, that keeps coming up. And I feel like there's something here where you've gained clarity on this and are implementing it or working on implementing it into your experience as you release fears. And some of these fears being very deep ones as well, I might add. So what do you have the opportunity to change, Leo? We have the elephant here, which I love this coming up because I feel like you have this opportunity to truly just annihilate obstacles in your way, right? Like you have the ability here to take what you are learning, because these are pretty powerful energies with the dolphin, with the Father of Wands, with the Magician, with the High Priestess, and now the elephant. It's this energy of you have all this power to be able to work with spirit, with source, universe, creator, your angels, your guides, your team, your higher self, and with what you now know, and really, really, truly do something incredible, right? Like to clear out the obstacles, to step fully into your power. I do want to read here the elephant for you. And again, in regards to what you have the opportunity to change, I feel like this could surely give you some more insight as you move forward. So let's see here. Where are you? There it is. Yes, like I said, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you, Leo. It says here, unstoppable, auspicious, and wise. The elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. So I'm just going to pause because I feel like you could potentially spin the wheel, as it were, and truly create your or rather change your fortune, right? It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles. So if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured the path will soon become clear. To add to the mystery, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. Trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with the light of self-knowledge. When in balance, one-pointed focus, generous, loving. When out of balance, misunderstands fate. To bring into balance, trust. So I feel like what you have the opportunity here to change is to truly, again, right? There's this inner knowing, this understanding of self. And so I feel like you have this opportunity to, again, kind of spin the wheel. Because I feel like if you look at a lot of these cards here, right, several of them have this kind of darker background to them. Even though they're powerful cards, you know, they have this darker background, and I do feel like there's this energy of like coming out of the darkness. So maybe you've been experiencing, let's say, a dark night of the soul, or a time where you just feel like maybe you're kind of in the dark, or, right, I said something about that in-between phase where things feel uncertain. And I feel like now you have this opportunity to bring that light forward, right? To experience light, or experience things in a more light way. I also feel like, for depending on you and your situation, that for some of you there is this path being cleared, or you have this opportunity to clear a path as you embrace these things, as you continue to heal, as you continue to acknowledge the truth of who you are. It's absolutely beautiful. And this is a fire energy too, so it's right there with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, adding more fuel to the fire is actually what I'm hearing. So that's, I mean, that's a pretty awesome change, if you ask me. What else do we have to clarify? Wow, Daughter of Wands too. So again, another fire energy. And this is the Daughter here, or the Page of Wands. This could be a message coming through, which may help to further that change, or to give more power to the opportunity for change, if you will. But the Daughter or Page of Wands is about being creative, enthusiastic, confident, and courageous. So there's this energy of, like, if you really want to create great change and to experience, let's say, a twist, a turn of the wheel, or a change in fate, if you like, I suppose you could say it that way, that there's this energy here of being confident in what you've discovered, being confident in what you now know, allowing creativity to flow through you, right? I spoke on that here as well. So allowing that to come forward, allowing it to shine through you. In addition to that, again, being courageous and enthusiastic about who you are and where you feel like you are headed and what you're supposed to be doing, right? Not fearing or doubting that. In addition to exploring what is now in front of you, right? You have the opportunity for change as you explore these things. Again, maintain that kind of excitement. And I get the feeling of, like, freeing yourself from, again, these kind of masks or limitations that were placed on you previously. Be excited, be bold, be adventurous, because it is here for you. The adventure awaits, right? So like, dive in. Okay, like, you have the opportunity to change things here by going for it. As always, take what resonates with you, leave the rest. Use your discernment and make the choices that are best for you and your experience. But I mean, it's like, this is freaking amazing. What might you be celebrating now or in the future? You do have the bat here. I find it interesting that there's this, like, this full moon. For whatever reason, I feel like that's significant. I feel like there's something here about celebrating your ability to, like, move in the darkness or move through the darkness with higher perspectives, without, how would you say, like, knowing all the things. For whatever reason, I feel that. Yeah. And what's interesting about the moon in this card, for whatever reason, I'm being brought back to, where did I recently hear this? It may have been on Gigi Young's YouTube channel, or potentially Dark Journalist YouTube channel. I can't remember which. I apologize right now, but there was a discussion that, or something being shared around the moon holding our karma, our egoic karmas, and things like this. And I feel like this is something that I feel like you are breaking free from, right? Like, I feel like you're, right? I'm seeing this as, like, leaving it behind. And I feel like this could be potentially something that you're celebrating now or in the future. And it would go right, I mean, it would go right along with everything we've had come through thus far. I'm going to read this one to you as well. I just feel like there's more here that we can dive deeper into and give us another, yes, you guys. Okay, I don't normally talk like that, but oh my gosh. Okay, so wait till you hear this, because like I said, there was something here about like leaving things behind, right? Like overcoming karma. It says here, darkness, letting go, death leading to rebirth, right? So a new beginning. Before emerging, the bat waits for the sun to set and the moon to rise. In the darkness, it can see all that was invisible in the daylight hours. The bat is a master of the subtle senses, of the underlying forces that cause some things to prosper and others to fade. The bat card shows up to signify the ending of a chapter, the closing of a door. The bat comes swiftly, encouraging us to move on. In just a few hours, a new day dawns. No more lingering in the past. When in balance, accepts, adapts, adjusts. When out of balance, refuses to let go, reminisces. To bring into balance, watch the sun rise. So, again, what I feel like you could be celebrating now or in the future is literally the end of a chapter, right? The closing of a door, that death and rebirth that you've experienced. It's absolutely incredible. What do we have to clarify? The Two of Wands. Yes. Yes. Another. So again, right, we do have these two cards here with the Daughter of Wands and Father of Wands that are more, how would you say, further along in the suit. Okay, so more, I don't know, deep into the mystery, as it were. But many of these cards are, ones and twos and fours and early on in the arcana. And so with the Two of Wands, this is, I feel, for you, this, oh my gosh, this like boldness, this personal power, this originality, this I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable. Right? Like, again, it is this death and rebirth where it's like, here I am, and I am not ashamed to be what I am and who I am and how I am. Like, here we are, right? There's also this, it's interesting because a lot of times this card can be looked at as like leaving home, but I feel like this is more about leaving your comfort zone. And I feel like there's a celebration in that because I feel like you've been likely experiencing some of the same cycles over and over again. And I feel like this is the celebration comes from being able to leave those things behind. Woo, and doing so very powerfully. I love this for you, Leo. It's beautiful. We also have here the Five of Swords. So this is really interesting because this can be like a adversity, challenge, conflict, change type of energy. Oh, okay. So this is interesting. Not your typical energy, maybe, that would be, talked about with the Five of Swords or that maybe you would hear about normally, but intuitively, the energy that I'm getting here, right? There's this worm that's split in two. And so we're looking at what might you be celebrating now or in the future. I feel like there's something here about like reconnecting, if you will, the fractals of yourself, or no longer fragmenting yourself, right? There's an energy of like wholeness here, celebrating no longer doing that. I will and am, because we do have this beautiful guidebook here. Just going to read what it says. What Kim Krantz has written here. Okay, so it does say self-destruction, right? Yet another card of warning. The Five of Swords depicts the destruction of the self. You'll be lured into another situation or argument you know to avoid. Your selfishness and desire for power will lead you to defeat. Pain and discord will result. So what I'm really getting here, right, because we're looking at celebration. We're not looking at what do we need to be fearing and this kind of energy. So looking at it from this perspective of what are we celebrating, again, I feel like This is the destruction of the past self. That is how I'm seeing this, right? Because again, we have to look at it with the cards that we have available around it. And with that bat energy being like leaving the past behind, again, it is celebrating that death of the past self, of the former self, of that fragmented being that you once were, right? Moving into a space of wholeness. Wow. Okay. So your advice, encouragement, or guidance, look at all these cards here for you. I think you have the most out of anyone so far. So you do have building blocks here, which I think is absolutely incredible because again, this feels like the start of something or a new level, a new experience perhaps for you. And with this being the number 28, reducing to 10, that is, first of all, it's the completion of a cycle. And then if we reduce it even further, we're looking at a new beginning. So it's like things coming full circle and building upon what you have learned thus far, what you've gained, what you've come to be aware of, what you now acknowledge, right? So I feel like this is you, again, that rebirth, like building yourself, right? We also have, yep, like I said, new life, which is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it kind of goes without saying, but you know, we have these building blocks here that are being put in place for you to experience this new life, this new way of being. This is your encouragement here. And we are looking at the number 39, which reduces to 12, which reduces even further to 3. And that is about growth, right? So we're laying these building blocks for this new life, for your growth. It's absolutely amazing. And kudos to you, Leo, because coming to this space is a lot of hard work. It's work that most do not want to do and will not do. So absolutely beautiful. We also have Yang here. So this is that masculine energy. And you know, Leo being a masculine energy, it feels like you may be finding balance in that, right? We have another number 1 or an I, developing that confidence, that inner strength within yourself, right? Also being courageous in that, standing firmly in who you are, or being assertive, if you will, in who you are. Again, confident in that, being very decisive about where you're going, what you're doing, being focused. Absolutely amazing. Again, it feels like balance in that masculine energy. So powerful. We have by the book the number 11. So I'm very drawn to the fact that, you know, we just had the 1 and now we have the 11 coming out. So you may be seeing 111 repeated or repeating ones, again with new beginnings. And here's the thing with this by the book. Okay, I actually feel like I want to grab the guidebook here to share with you what it says. But before I do that, I just feel like saying there's this element here of understanding, again, having this kind of insider knowledge of a little bit, how would you say, like how things kind of work. So being aware, right, that this is how things need to be moved through, this is how things need to be addressed. And I feel like there's a respect for that, which is important. The structure is important, right? And I feel like this is something that maybe you're gaining. Maybe before you were working on your spirituality and discovering things, and maybe you were kind of all over the place, or maybe there was no real structure, but now I feel like it's there because we have the building blocks as well. Right, so I feel like you're like gaining this structure or firm foundation. It's not running around all willy-nilly. So let's take a look here by the book. It says here, yes, like I said, it's knowing how things work, right? It says, the universe works within a structure of divine laws and principles that provides a framework for human experience and evolution. the law of abundance, the law of prayer, the law of karma, the law of attraction, the law of thought, the law of compensation, and the law of nature are only a few that are known. These principles create perfect order and operate within a kind of precision beyond human understanding. Even revolution has its place in universal law. Human beings, in turn, have their own laws and customs that vary from culture to culture and family to family. Laws keep social order and govern behavior, reflecting an instinctive understanding that harmony is important. This is a time to learn these laws and conform to them, rather than being the rebel and flouting them. When this card appears, submit to structure and follow the rules even if they seem to make no sense. Release resistance, for universal laws will will correct any disharmony. Open your eyes to those universal laws, and it will be easier to go by the book at this time, right? So again, there's that element of the structure, having an understanding of how things work and how your place, like I was saying earlier, in the world as a human being. I also want to just point out, you have 2 elephant cards here thus far. I mean, that's pretty powerful, right? So there's a message here, I feel, advice both and encouragement of, you've got to do it by the book. You can't just be running around all willy-nilly. You've got to abide by the universal laws that, and educate yourself and bring that structure into your spiritual experience. Because I feel like you're going to find that things are much, much easier when you do that. This is so freaking powerful, you guys. You also have here and now. So interestingly, this is the number 5 when we reduce it, which brings me back to this 5 of Swords, talking about coming back to self, right? Bringing these fragmented parts of self together, leaving the past behind, right? Leaving that self-destructive type of thoughts and behaviors and stories and things behind, right? This is about being present in the here and now, in every single moment, and acknowledging the importance of you being here now. Okay? It's not about dwelling on the past. It's not about, running ahead, racing to the future. It's about acknowledging that every single moment that you are in is important and impactful and influential. Not only on others, but also on your soul's evolution, right? Because what you do here and now is going to impact or influence what you experience as an eternal soul as you move on. Okay? Wowzers. This is so incredible. Oh, yes. Okay, Leo. So the final card we have here for you is happy, happy. And I love this so much for a multitude of reasons. One of them being, we have this beautiful young woman who has this star here in her hands. And the star in the tarot is hope. It is this energy of, really like hope after a dark time, keeping faith, moving past negativity. And I feel like this is something you're being encouraged to do, right? I feel like you're being encouraged to keep hope, keep faith, to keep moving forward, to keep moving past the negativity, right? To bring positivity into your experience. I also feel like this is a nod, if you will, to that connection that you have with the divine, with source, with spirit, whatever you like to call it. In addition to that, I feel like there's a nod here to your healing as well, because the star is also a representation of healing and rejuvenation. Okay, so this is wowzers, absolutely amazing. And then on top of that, she has this star here, right? If you can see, I know there's probably a glare, but there's that star there on what is around her third eye, which seems to be a reoccurring theme here for you, saying like you have this knowledge. You know the things, right? You are connected in that way. Like there's no going back now, right? Like you know what you know. And that's only going to continue to develop as you allow it to do so, right? Bringing in more opportunities for you to co-create your reality, for you to step more fully into purpose, for you to illuminate the world around you. Okay. And adding on to that, there's this beautiful like rainbow type of energy here, or light and rainbow colors, not just coming down from the heavens, but also around her. It's in her wings and everything. So there's this element here of protection. There's this element here of the angels and the hierarchies being with you, supporting you, right? Protecting you. I'm feeling like you're never alone as well. I just heard the word treasured, and I feel like this is because of all of the work that you've done, right? I feel like there's this great respect and love for what you have went through and what you've overcome. So, you know, there's this protection here, and I feel like there's something here about being confident in that. I also feel like I should share with you, like she's sitting on top of this egg, because I feel like there's that birthing of something new. And 26 reduces to 8, which is mastery, accomplishment, action, and guess what? Rebirth. So just to close out, I'm going to pop in the book here and read this oracle message to you. This is so exciting, and I'm so excited for you, Leo. This is a beautiful reading. All right, are you ready? So advice, encouragement, guidance for you moving forward. Here we go. Your desires are effortlessly fulfilled now. Find joy in the present moment, whatever is happening, and be satisfied with things as they are. You're free from the shackles of longing and able to experience the liberation that comes from actually being happy moment to moment. For you have chosen happiness over yearning for it. Now is the time for feeling joy for the sake of joy and experiencing contentment. None of this is because of something outside of yourself. Your happiness is a result of your being at one with Spirit's plan for your life. All is well. The tide is in for now. Enjoy playfully splashing in it. So, I mean, looking at your advice and encouragement or guidance for the future, or as you move forward, even now in the present moment, of course, but as you move forward as well, I mean, this is a beautiful story that you're telling, Leo, a triumphant story of revealing the truth of who you are, sharing it with the world, stepping fully into it, sharing your light, being a leader, being influential, overcoming all of the challenges, removing all the masks, and creating something incredibly magical and beautiful and glorious for yourself by aligning with Spirit, connecting with Spirit, and pursuing the path that's laid before you. I pray that there's something here that has resonated for you, been valuable for you in some way, shape, or form. And if it has, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, commenting, or subscribing. It really does help the channel to grow and tells YouTube that there may be something valuable here for someone else as well. So thank you so much for doing that. It has been an absolute pleasure to read for you. I've enjoyed every second of this reading, and there is nothing more that I want to see you to continue to pursue this path and to continue to expand and grow, because when you grow, I grow, we all grow, and the world needs all of that light and love and glory and all of the influence that you have to share, the light that you have to shine. So thank you so much for doing your part, and I pray you continue to do so. Take care of your amazing, powerful, unique soul. Peace be with you and within you, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.